The magnitude of magnificence is infinitely flexible. And you can be magnificent in a small way, a big way. It really means just being yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. You are as God made you. How can you possibly get more magnificent than that? You're as God made you in every moment, not just the minutes when you're being spiritual, not just the times when you're being understanding, not just the times when you're struggling for forgiveness. You're magnificent all the time because you're as God made you. All the time. And all your irritability and frustration and wondering when the heck is X going to happen, or how long do I have to wait till Y shows up in my life. That is magnificence too, because you're being real. Being honest with yourself, you're not pretending to be something other than who you are. Spirituality in all of its aspects is intended to free you, rather than imprison you or shackle you with a narrow definition of what are acceptable behaviors, what are acceptable emotions. It unleashes you, it frees you, and lets you be who you are and feel really good about it.
It kind of reminds me, actually, Michael just put a post up on Facebook, I think a day or two ago, about who you really, which we talk about all the time, who we really are, and if there is no real one of us, about the different, that we're just a bunch of different perspectives. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, and I actually wanted to piggyback on what Moira just said, and you took the words that just as I was thinking it, she said it. You did. It was so funny. It was like, oh, she got it. That happens a lot though. As you get in sync with life, there is a flow, a naturalness, a rhythm, and you do kind of get psychic. Like amazing things happen. But I was going to say, magnificence to some of us can sound a bit overwhelming. It could sound like, gee, that's a big word, magnificent. But the word also, is being authentic. Being authentic. It's like, that's your magnificence. To own. See, I know for me, when I started out on this path a long, long time ago, I was in the love and light crowd. Like it was bliss and love and light, and I've sort of rebelled, kind of. I'm not like you now. It's like, because I see the trap.
Yeah.
It's what happened was, so anything negative or depression, you just didn't look at it, or you stuff it away, or chin up, put on a happy face, slog through it, I must be doing something wrong because I'm feeling shitty. And what the real work is not running from it. It's actually turning around and facing it. Maybe for the first time in your life. You've had this depression running you for 20, 30, 40 years. Enough! Turn around. Meet it. Okay, my friend, I'm all yours. What do you have to tell me?
You just did dream work. I just dreamed the guy's chasing me. Turn around. Ask him what he's got. He might have your lunch money.
Yeah.
Be that bully that you've always been afraid of.
But so that dark side of us, and it's in all of us. It's here. I think it's part of the package when you get this body. And I was saying to Tom, we had a nice conversation this morning and I was saying, Tom, we got to cut ourselves some slack, because look at what's happening to our bodies with the planet. The food we're eating is polluted, the air we're breathing is polluted, the water we're drinking is polluted. I know I can't wash a glass in the sink for too many times and let it sit, because the hard water will form little white hard spots on the glass, and that's going in my body if I drink that. So if you think about all the toxicity that we're taking in, we're living in a polluted environment. And that's why it's so important that you start to surround yourself with light, with people that are doing this work. It's so important, because once you get, it's like a little kindle of fire. And that's why you come to the Eckhart Tolle meetups. You come to help people that you can help you, because once your light gets lit, then someone else, and it's just the way you're being. You may not even know it. Just your attitude. You just maybe, say something, you might not give it another thought, and someone else in that moment, you just said, oh, just the right thing. And it was because of where you're coming from, because you've broken out of that old addiction of what's in it for me, what can I get? This path is all about giving. It's of being of service. And I remember hearing that years ago and going, giving, being of service? What about me? I got to pay my bills. I got my problems. I don't have time to give. Whew! Boy, that'll keep you stuck. That'll keep you stuck.
Well, I'm about ready to stop for the break. I want to ask one more question that is important to me, and after the break, we'll open it up. And I want to start with a really short story, which was when I came out to California and I realized that I wasn't going to be rich and famous in a couple of months, I decided to get a job at night, and I went to this law firm, and they hired me because of my English background and so on. And I was confronted with this word processing machine, which is a computer dedicated to just suing people, you know, putting out paper that sues people. And it was at night, and the supervisor there gave me a series of 6 discs. And I put the 6 one after the other in, and the computer trained me and in how to use it, how to sue people. And I was just blown away by that, because I realized that in that machine, there was an intelligence at work. That's what's been kind of getting me going the last couple of years. And to me, I mean, Michael and I have discussion. Michael says science is all part of the dream. To me, science, or this understanding of an energy that's intelligent, that can be in a computer and that can also be in neuroscience in our head, it's really all software. And to me, and what I wanted to throw out to you was that the dream, in some ways, and the way you guys work, is in reprogramming people's software. Am I right about that?
Yeah. I mean, you remind me of the role of DNA, which used to be thought of as the brain of the cell, which they've discovered isn't. It's not even really organic. It's kind of like the God in us. We are the organic. And all the DNA does is it replicates protein over and over and over again. It just says more protein, more protein, more protein. And it doesn't care whether the protein is functioning well or not. It's just saying more protein, more protein, more protein. Software will always just generate the program. It doesn't know if there's a virus or not. It just keeps, generating more and more protein. Proteins move. And they're either going to move towards sustenance or away from toxicity. It doesn't matter whether that sustenance is a particle of food or a molecule of oxygen or a loving thought or a molecule of carbon dioxide or ammonia or a fearful thought. And here's where it gets really dicey between the loving thought and the fearful thought, is that most fearful thoughts aren't true. The DNA will replicate the protein to not move and not move and not move, because that's what the software does. We're the response mechanism to that. We can change the dream. We have that control and power, but the dream will keep going and going and going because the God is. We are the effect.
And to me, Michael, that resonates so much with, in my understanding of the Course in Miracles, where we're always confronted with the choice between fear and love, between separation and what they call the Holy Spirit. So what we are is, we talked about this morning, but that choosing entity, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're going to take the break, but the sense of being a separate self.
Mm.
If you have, it's kind of what Dr. Lennis was just saying, if you have software running in you that it says, I'm separate, I'm independent, there's me, and as soon as that software is running, there becomes everything that's not you. You're isolated, because that software is an illusion, because what can be separate from all that is? Even if a wave thinks it's separate from the ocean, believes it's separate from the ocean, doesn't matter. It's never separate from the ocean, regardless of the software that's running in it. What awakening or awareness is just seeing through that sense of a separate self. And it took me years of going in there and looking at it with a flashlight, head to toe. I literally would lay in bed at night for sometimes hours and look for that sense of Michael. I was sure that it was hidden in an enclave or a cave inside me, deep within me. And it felt like 3 inches right behind my eyes. And intellectually, I knew there was no Michael in there, like a little teeny guy, but it still felt like that. And I remember repeating those words out loud. But it feels like there's a me, but it feels like there's a me. And suddenly, the light bulb went on. I went, what feels? The feeling. And it, somehow intuitively, I realized that's the earliest feeling I had ever known. The first sense of a you, when you were just tiny, that you recognize when mommy and daddy called you and you realized they were talking about you, something in you registered that. That something is your oldest sense of self, and I call it, it's like perfumed with you. That's why you have a sense of you. But there's no real you in there, it's just a feeling.
So we'll close with this. When I looked at your website, Moira, I was really taken by the number of modalities that you work with. So do you use those different modalities to do kind of what these gentlemen just said, to see through the illusion of a self in some way?
Yes. I've learned several different modalities of healing, spoken, energetic, all different flavors of that, because there's no universal panacea. There's not one thing that's going to work for everybody. We all process information, illumination, light, data, all the same thing, differently. But I don't consciously set out, okay, this sounds like a problem for theta healing. This sounds like a problem for NLP. This sounds like somebody needs a hand-on healing. I'm open to receive and just summon the healing from wherever it is. Would you like a demonstration of that? Do we have time before the break?
I think so. Can you do 5 minutes?
Sure. Cool. Okay. So, if it's okay with you, may I have permission to connect with your consciousness, just like one soap bubble touching another, nothing intrusive. I don't need to go in there. You have a sensation in your body. It's your body's energetic response to being touched by grace from your higher power. It's not me. It's you connecting in a visceral way. So, if that's all right to connect with your consciousness, please say yes out loud now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Would it be all right to give you the highest perspective, understanding, truth, knowing, and wisdom about yourself?
Yes.
Teaching you
Yes.
how it feels to have right perception of yourself now. Yes?
Yeah.
Very good. So just, you might imagine that stardust is sparkling down through the top of your head, making itself felt, lighting up your third eye, lighting up your throat chakra, lighting up your heart, lighting up your solar plexus, lighting up your reproductive area, lighting up the base of your spine. And just show you, ooh, there's a lot of dread in there, so can we show you why it's safe for you to truly understand and therefore accept and love yourself now? What will really happen if you do, in ways that make sense to every part of you? If that's okay, please say yes out loud now.
Yes.
Oh, good, yes, the ancestors are like, oh, this is more like it. Yes, I can definitely accept this. Oh, that's love. Knew something cool like that. It's great. So can we also show you what it feels like to accept yourself 100%, wholeheartedly? Why to accept yourself in a way that makes sense to every part of you? And what will happen if you accept yourself as you are in this moment? If that's okay, please say yes out loud now.
Yes.
Great. And just see what you see, feel what you feel, hear what you hear, know what you know, and if you don't see, hear, or know anything, that's okay. How you experience this is exactly right. Oh, good. I'm feeling a real softening of the energy in here. There's something so warm and welcoming about acceptance. You can just relax and accept yourself consciously and unconsciously for exactly who you are. Would it be all right to show you who you are and how to live your life, accepting and loving yourself at all times, and what it feels like to feel safe and normal doing that now, in a way that makes sense to every part and particle of you? If that's okay, please say yes out loud now.
Yes.
And again, just notice what you notice, and if you notice nothing, that's fine, then witnessing it, so it's still happening. Feeling a lot of terror around this, so whoever's scared of feeling accepted and loved all the time, can we show you why it's safe for you to experience this now? Thanks, that's okay, say yes out loud.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody is feeling very confined by this acceptance, like, oh, I can't change, or I just have to stay exactly who I am in order to be accepted. Can we show you how this acceptance is organic and growing and encompasses all of whoever you become and whatever you do? So it's infinitely expandable. And can we also expand your capacity for acceptance and love? If that's okay, please say yes out loud now.
Yes.
Very good. Woo, wow, boy, some big capacities that were untapped until now. Very good. So let me show you, we'll be able to show your body what it feels like to process all of this data that's coming in, all this light, all this love, which are all one and the same, how to process them in ways that are pleasurable and comfortable and feel easy and light for you now. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.